9:49, it's Indiana in the Morning from WCCS AM 1160 and FM 101.1. We're brought to you by First Commonwealth Bank, and we are joined in the studio this morning for Indiana in the Morning, representing our local chapter of the PIAA basketball referees, Chuck Glasser, Jim Racchini. Good morning, gentlemen. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning.
It is that time of the year again. This weekend, a number of high school tip-off tournaments will take place. Yesterday, the Heritage Conference held their Basketball Media Day over at the KCAC, and it's always a good time to talk about recruiting basketball referees. So what is your pitch to get some people out there to help out?
Go ahead, Jim.
I know when I started officiating basketball, I was a college student and have just recently graduated from Blairsville High School and playing basketball. I wanted a way to keep involved with the game. And plus, my dad was a long-time official as well in basketball and baseball and softball, so I grew up in the culture of officiating. But it's a great way to stay involved. It's a great way to give back to the community and give back to the schools. And it's not a bad way to make a few extra dollars from some supplementary income. But primarily people that when you talk to them, they do it because they love the game. They like being involved with youth, and the money is secondary.
Mm-hmm. Chuck, is it that difficult? Is it harder than people think? Of course, you have to take the test, but as Jim said, if you've been a basketball player, a lot of that you already know, right?
Yes, definitely. If you've played the game, you've had a little better advantage to becoming an official in any sport. That is, if you have knowledge of that game, that definitely helps.
Are there any training programs that are offered?
Well, basically, once you take the test and then you join the chapter, in our Tri-County officials chapter here, we have scrimmages. We have evaluators that we have that will go and watch the officials do the games and help them critique and help them along. And throughout the course of the year, I'm the assigner for our chapter. So I do try to put the less experienced officials with the more experienced officials on games in order for them to help each other out. And it's learning. This is my 24th year, and I'm sure I'll learn some things this year doing with games. If I'm working with Jim or working with anybody, we're always there trying to learn more techniques and better techniques at officiating.
Is there a minimum age? Do you have to be so old to be a state official?
You have to be a high school graduate.
I think high school graduate.
And we've had individuals that have actually passed the test in their senior year in high school but weren't able to officiate until after they've graduated.
So you can take it before the age and then after that, right?
Correct.
Do that.
And as a faculty member at IUP, I also work with an intramural department to run some training programs, which double dips training their officials, but as well as recruits some of the young men and women to become PIAA officials. A program we call START, Students Today Are Referees Tomorrow. I've run 3-day clinics in basketball. I know they've also run some in sports like football and baseball and softball. And while that's free to college students and specifically delivered to college students, we do open it up to the community. We just have to charge the normal PIAA exam fee with that. But you do get a little extra training and education prior to taking the exam. So
if somebody's thinking about becoming an official, that's what they have to do, contact the PIAA to take the test?
Correct.
Right?
PIAA.org. There's a link on there, become an official, and everything is pretty much online and automated. And the exam, as of this year, it became an online timed but online exam.
Over the last several years, we've also seen ladies join the official ranks, and they're doing not only women's and girls' games, but also boys' games as well, right?
Correct. And that's been one of the challenges is to, not just in our local chapter, but in District 6, to recruit and retain female officials. And I've been somewhat successful in getting some female college students involved, but then they graduate and move on with their life's work. So currently in our chapter of about 60 officials, we only have 2 females. And that's pretty indicative of things District 6-wise. So that's really an area that we'd like to see some improvement in. And we encourage any women who maybe were involved with, whether it's basketball or whatever sport, to look into officiating that sport.
What are some of the rules that maybe people think they know, but really that's not the way it is?
I guess probably one of the biggest ones you see, and as a player is trying to regain possession of a loose ball, and they dive on the floor and they slide.
Right.
They're sliding with that ball on the floor, and naturally everybody thinks that that's a walk. That is not a walk. They can slide with it. There's just certain things that they can and can't do once they regain possession of that. They can shoot, dribble, pass, but they just can't set up, roll over, and that. So that's probably one of the bigger ones. One other one is the top of the backboard is in play, that you'll see the ball hitting up there, and they'll want that called out about. As long as it doesn't hit any support or go over top, that ball is live, and we continue to play there.
How about anytime a ball hits a person around the foot or ankle area? A lot of fans automatically think that's a kick of the ball. Sometimes it's not.
Right, yeah. The kick has to be an intentional kick, so the player actually has to, lift his leg and kick the ball in order for it to be ruled a kick.
Mm-hmm. With us this morning on Indiana in the Morning, Chuck Glasser, Jim Racchini. They are PIAA basketball referees. Most of the games you gentlemen do are high school?
I'm about 50-50. Okay. I do small college as well, so
I'm about the same. Probably about 60-40 at small college level and then high school level.
What would you say is the most difficult thing about officiating basketball?
As far as making a call, or
just something that.
I would say probably the hardest call in working the game would be a block charge. Those ones there, you have the offensive player moving, you have the defensive player. You gotta, if you're watching the offensive player, you gotta also see where that defensive player set up. There's certain things that the defensive player can and can't do. So that one there, you gotta be ready to make that call.
Okay. Gentlemen, we're out of time. We'll have to bring you back because I know there's a lot more to talk about. But we thank you for stopping by. We'll see you around the areas. Tip-off tournaments coming up this week, and of course, Heritage Conference and other seasons will begin next week. So, good luck on the floor.
Oh, great.
Thank you. Of course, we'll have lots of basketball coverage, high school-wise, and, of course, IUP on our render broadcasting stations here throughout the season as we go along.